Cool. Okay. Hi all. Welcome to the 75th Independence Day podcast from the team of Modelists. So we have a diverse group of people here. So we have Aishwarya, who has worked and studied in the United States of America for the last 4 years, who has come back with passion and the understanding of cutting edge technology. And we also have Mr. Ananth. So he has 38 years of work experience working outside India in various continents like Latin America, Africa and eastern parts of Europe. And he has come back with a lot of wisdom and experience. And thank you for coming back, both of you. Woo, good to have you guys as part of the team. And I am Jana. And basically, if I want to talk one line, I want to be at the forefront of innovation. So that's it. And I just thought it would be very nice to get the perspectives of these two very different people on what their international travels was like, and to understand a little bit more about how their journey and how they've come back. So to start off with, so it's somewhat scary to leave what this place called home and going back to a new place, to new culture, and settling down there, right? So, what tempted you guys to make this decision? And when did you guys leave India and where did you guys go? Who wants to go first?
Okay, I mean,
Go first.
sure. Thanks a lot, Aishwarya. Thanks, Jana. That was a superb introduction. Thanks a lot for that. I never knew when I left because I was 1 year old.
Okay.
I was a baby and my father was an expatriate and we went to Mauritius, where I lived for 18 years.
Right.
I had no clue, and when I came back, it was the opposite. It was more that, wow, I mean, having been in a country for 18 years, I was almost Mauritian, and it was difficult for me to get to the terrain realities, understand the cultures, the different do's and don'ts. So it was not easy for me. That was in 1992.
Okay.
It was very, very tough. But then that was the foundation what made me understand that this is my home. And home is beautiful.
Right.
Home gives you your rights. Home gives you your identity. And home gives you your freedom. So that's one reason that made me always, of course, for work, travel frequently and be based on short durations or a little bit longer durations overseas.
Okay.
But I had to come back.
Had to come back, obviously. And what about Aishwarya? When did you decide to leave India and what made you take this decision?
Well, after my undergrad, I had already decided I'm going for higher education. So 2016 is when I left.
Okay.
And I did the same. I had the same exact thought process everybody nowadays has. Who's coming out of college? I want a better life. I want to make more money, and that is in US.
Okay.
And that's exactly why I left. Thinking I will have a much better life,
Okay.
and wanting all those things that we all want. And what made me come back
No,
is a long
we'll come back to that.
question.
We'll come back to that. But what was amazing there? No, I want to understand. What am I missing out? I have gone out of India, but I have not stayed there. Lived in a different country. I want to know what was amazing there.
There's no questions asked. It's a beautiful experience. It is a beautiful experience, but if you want to settle down there, I am not a big fan of that one. What I loved there, the first place I went to was Buffalo. It's upstate New York. The place that we loved the most and spent the most time was Niagara Falls, walking around that place. And what I did love was I had no experience of snow when I moved out of India.
Right.
So the place I did move to had a lot of snow, had always snow. So just fresh snow, jumping into snow, and just playing with snow, and just the cherry blossoms and that beautiful spring environment that you get. Oh, I love that part. That was the best part out of all of them. And then Ball Drop in New York City, Times Square. Yes, that was also beautiful. But the only thing I hate about that one was it was freezing cold. I was wearing 4 layers and yet I was cold. It was the only thing I would say out of all the events I loved, but also remember very clearly.
So how are the people there?
That depends from place to place. Most people, it's just like India. Some people are warm, some people are not. So there is a combination of a lot of how people are going to look at you, how people are going to treat you,
Right.
just like any other country. I wouldn't say it's any different from the ratios of good and bad people in our country.
More or less the same.
More or less the same. Humans are humans. Absolutely.
So how was it for you?
Yeah, I've with the God's blessing, I've had a chance of visiting at least
Multiple.
42 to 45 odd countries.
Uh-huh.
So, talking about independence, Mahatma Gandhi studied in South Africa,
Yeah.
right, before coming to India.
Uh-huh.
So, Mahatma Gandhi, certainly we have to be thankful to all the freedom fighters, because of whom today we are on the largest democracy on earth, with freedom of speech and with so many things that we are able to do freely. Yes, these countries, each and every one of them were beautiful experience, as rightly said by Aishwarya. It was a fantastic experience. So many stories I gathered that today I can share it with many people. The cuisines, the cultures. The most important thing that I took note was when you travel abroad, you have to integrate with the nationals of the country if you want to learn. If you're an expatriate, you remain with the Indian expatriate group, then you will not learn much.
Right.
So the learning part comes when you integrate, and I have had the chance of meeting people almost everywhere, getting into their families, having participating in their family dinners, marriages, ceremonies, and some of them I do remember. One was in Guatemala City. I was going from Boston to Guatemala. I was very scared because it was the first time I was going to Latin America, and I told myself, Latin America, I do speak a bit of Spanish, but yet
He speaks more than 6 languages.
So I do speak a bit of Spanish. So I went there, and to my surprise, Indians do not need a visa there. Right? Guatemala. You just
Okay.
go with a passport.
Right.
So there are around 69 countries where you go just with your passport.
Passport.
So when I landed there, the gentleman at the immigration had a big smile, and he just stamped the visa. He didn't ask me anything. He said, "You're welcome." And when I went to the hotel, I forgot the name of the hotel. To my surprise, Jana, it was written in Hindi, "Aapka Swagat." I was like, what? My God! I said, guys. So, and the best part of it is, when I was bored after work because there was the jet lag and there was so many things. And in the evening, I asked one of the servers who was actually ending his work. I said, I don't have anybody and my work is over. Can you get me around? He said, no problem. I'll get you around. I have my car. They're very kind. And there was a street he brought me in where there was a lot of coffee shops. And it's a coffee shop, cafeteria culture where you have pubs and mostly coffee shops. And I think around 20 to 25 coffee shops, people started pulling me in because they wanted to get to know about India. So they were asking me questions. So that was a fantastic experience because I saw only kindness from the beginning to the end. So one of the countries I've stayed for quite a long time was Niger in Africa. Niger in Africa, where I've worked a lot. And I went there alone to start a project. It was a fantastic experience of getting to know Sub-Saharan Africa. And people are very kind, very, very kind. The opportunities are so awesome. And yes, the wildlife, because you have Kenya, you have South Africa. Kenya is Serengeti Park, Tanzania is Serengeti, South Africa is Kruger. But Niger, W Park is not well known by many. So it's still virgin.
Okay.
So the kind of limitation that you have in Serengeti, whereas you cannot get out of a car, you cannot walk alone in the savannah, you can do that in Niger.
Okay.
Because you're accompanied by a security guard.
Awesome.
So that was a fantastic experience where you have a tent in the middle of the savannah and hearing the animals at night with a bonfire. That is an awesome experience that I've had. Work-wise, I understood the challenges and the benefits of facing unpredictability. Right. That is a wonderful lesson and experience that I've learned out of all this travel. And I always remember one of my favorite French author, Balzac. Balzac was a very well-known 19th century author. he said if you want to learn, travel,
Yeah.
but get back home.
So experiences, learnings, and nature.
Absolutely.
But I want to talk about this one thing though. So when people want to go to US, right, they definitely say like the roads are better, the living standards are better. So how better is that? Like,
I would say again, it goes back to the same thing. It depends on where you go.
okay.
Because let's take a basic comparison. If you're going to the city of Chicago, you don't need a car. Everything's decently connected with subways, and so is New York City.
Right.
The same thing, if you decide to live in LA, you can't live without a car.
Right.
The public transport is not the best. And if you don't want to take the public transport, you're like, okay, I'm going to get a car, I'm going to just travel, I like to do that. Well, you have the ability to do that because you do have a 2-day weekend. But also with that comes the fact that all roads are not the same always. Now,
Okay.
the roads are better than India, I will not say no to that, but not every road is a highway. Yeah. And also one experience that I forgot to share was I landed first time in US on 13th of August.
Okay.
So 15th of August, my first ever 15th of August in US was celebrated at Niagara Falls, where the national anthem is played and the tricolors are displayed on the Niagara Falls.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
And
United
the
States of
fireworks.
America.
And that
That's
fireworks.
awesome.
That was my first ever Independence Day outside India. I did not know the importance of that till I came back.
Wow.
So after I come back and I think about it, it's like, yeah, that's what connects me to my country.
Right. So, like, what did you miss there? Like, you lived there for 5
About
years?
5 or 6 years, yeah.
Okay. Like, what did you miss there?
Family, definitely.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing that anybody and everybody will miss. Except for that, what did I miss? Oh, the comfort of just somebody doing everything for you. You have to do
The labor costs
everything on
are
your own.
so high.
Yes, you have to do everything on your own. Wash your own clothes, wash your own dishes. People who think US life is comfortable, yeah, if you don't have a dishwasher in your house, all the best. Wash your own clothes, buy your own groceries, cook your own food. And you are in a foreign country. You
Right.
either get acquainted to their food or you make your own food.
Right.
So the balance is quite off when it comes to food and adjusting to life.
Right. So, very paradoxically, comfort.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Processed food can make your food making life easy, but also at the same time, it's not really Indian food.
Right.
It's a little different.
Sorry guys, I'm a little concerned about the audio. So I am going to take a few glances with my laptop.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what did you miss, sir?
See, I actually miss that connection, that cultural connection, that human touch with all the emerging countries. I stayed in France. I've been to US. I've lived in Manhattan. I've gone to Chicago, Boston, and Latin America. But the human touch, as I told you, the moment you integrate yourself
Right.
within the nationals of the country, that is where you get to become family.
And is it really possible though?
I've had it all the way through.
Right.
I've had it all the way through. I'm actually September. I'm invited as the man of honor for a marriage, which is happening in Congo.
Wow.
Congo Brazzaville, which is the Republic of Congo, is a very good friend of mine, Mr. Borel, who's actually invited me. He's getting married. His wife is a very good friend.
Wow.
And that's it. I mean, the moment you start integrating, I mean, life is short. What remains is the relations. The relations are very precious.
Like I've heard something, right? It's not the destination that matters, not the journey that matters, it's who you go with. That
It's always.
matters.
You add it up. You add it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a fantastic experience. I do miss the cuisines of each places. Like Seychelles, the cuisines is fantastic. I used to go to Seychelles very frequently. Maldives as well, the cuisines is Mauritius. Don't even talk about it. The cuisines is awesome.
Right.
I mean, it just explodes. The taste just explodes in your taste buds. It's awesome. It has a mixture of Indian and continental.
But what did you miss about India when you were there?
See, Today, I'm back in India to stay in India. Certainly, I do travel for work. India is home. India is the quality of life.
Right.
India is my rights.
India is comfort.
You know, it's comfort.
That's all it
And
is.
I highly cherish all the travels, all the experience. My identity is Indian, and I'm proud to be an Indian. I wouldn't want to go and like Aishwarya rightly said, settle down in any countries, be US, Canada. I mean, quality of life is fantastic in India.
Right.
You know, today looking at youngsters like you, Jana, who are doing a revolution, having startups and providing employment for so many people, that shows a comfort. That shows a quality of life.
It's true. And also the openness to innovation in India I've seen is much better. I feel that way. Maybe everybody says, okay, Bay Area is the place to be. Okay, Bay Area is the place to be. You're either small or you're large.
Right.
The possibility of you being that intermediate, at least by my experience, I was not able to see that.
Right. It's a land of extremes, huh?
I feel that way. Like, maybe because of my experience. I was in construction, I've always been in construction. In construction, what I saw was either there was a mom and pop businesses, which are a little smaller, or you had keep it size businesses,
Right.
or which is like would be somewhere comparable to L&T in India, but that's much larger and much older. So you can't really say, okay, what is the intermediate there? There's no proper intermediate there.
But I've always heard that the ease of business, but for an American maybe to like ease of business for an American to do business in America is really hard for Indian.
The last time when I checked online, okay, did not do any depth research or anything. When I checked, if as an international you want to start a business, you have to put down a security to own the business on B2 visa. You have to put down, I think, $500,000 or something.
Right.
So it's the fact is you're not a citizen of that country.
Yeah.
You will not be able to change that. There are going to be advantages, there are going to be disadvantages. At some point you can get into a comfort between being an immigrant and a citizen, but that's a comfort level.
Right.
You will still be at a comfort level.
Right.
But here, you're the king. This is your land. Do whatever
Absolutely.
you want.
Absolutely.
So freedom.
Yes, freedom.
Independence Day, we're talking about freedom.
Yes.
It's very important. It's very important that in 2022, on the 75th Independence Day of our dear country, we realize, and this generation realizes that there are certain countries where we cannot talk. We don't have the freedom to do what we can do or what we want to do. And this, we are able to do it on our land, and we should be grateful for that. How many people in certain countries want to have startups, but they don't have the facilities, they don't have the access, they don't have the kind of provisions, and we still have it.
Right. But this doesn't mean to say that we cannot improve. We as a country can definitely improve, right?
This
So
country.
improvement are there for everything.
Everything.
But still, we should be thankful for what we have
Definitely.
today.
Right.
And I think what we have today, there are many countries that don't have it.
Definitely. Like I think today is a day, like Independence Day should be a day for us to be thankful, but the rest of the 364 days should be us trying to improve.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed with you, and totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
The first time when I came back after 2 years of gap, I couldn't believe what Bangalore had become. It was just 2 years.
Right.
But I was like, this doesn't seem like the same Bangalore I left 2 years ago. India is growing at a very rapid rate.
Definitely.
There is no
Definitely.
denying.
Definitely.
The people I was seeing when I left, the people I was seeing when I came back, it did not feel like the same people.
There is growth,
There is
growth.
tremendous growth.
Yes.
There's no questions in that.
And it's smart growth also, right? Like I've always been like very surprised at how Chennai had built their metro, right?
Yeah.
All 4 points of connectivity is connected in one single straight line, right? The bus stand, the 2 railway stations, the airport. everything is just connected in a single line. And I've always like marveled at wow, like even when they built the first line was just this. I was so happy. Like all four connectivity connected through one line. Like
That's
amazing.
nice.
Yeah. So definitely we are improving.
Yeah.
Happy to see that. But yes, we should move faster.
Yes, please.
We will.
Yeah.
I believe in that.
Right. So now, since you're back in India, like, how do you think your personal, your professional, and your social life is looking? I don't want to invade some sort of boundaries there, but you can tell what are you feeling. You can
Don't
tell if
drop
you
the
don't
ball.
have social life.
Don't drop the ball. Don't drop the ball.
Yeah, I have to be careful.
No, you're not. Actually, just before this video started, just told that I have zero social life because of modulus housing.
But also at the same time, I have good social life during working hours
Yes.
because these people just give enough social life.
Yes.
By the time you're done with work, you're so drained, you don't have energy to do anything.
Yeah.
Just go
Personal
home and
life.
sleep. That's it. Everybody in office is going to spend time with you, enjoy with you, talk with you. It doesn't always feel like you're working, but also at the same time, your social energy is completely drained by the time you're home.
So you can't complain. Then you talk about both your professional and your
Personal life.
yeah.
Personal life, okay. I did get to spend a lot of time with family since I have come back, and the best part about my personal life recently, I got a pet. There is nothing better. Standards. Yes, I got a pet dog, Lola. She's pretty, she's beautiful, and that's the best part of my personal life.
Nice. Can you talk about your professional life? So let us give the people a teaser of what we are trying to work
What
on.
Modulus is?
Yeah.
Modulus, oh my god, this place. It is take all the nerds, put them in a room.
Not in a room, boys. Not in a room.
Nerds in a room. So everybody connects with each other's vibe because of that, and also everybody is always people. Chances of people getting offended on what if you place an idea or try to question an idea is much lesser than I've seen in other construction companies. The openness to innovation and the openness to explore ideas, the openness for willing to do something new and put in the money to test it.
Yes.
That's worth it. That's always worth it in construction. Construction is something that has been going on for too long. You can't say no to that.
Yes.
Harappa, Mohenjo-daro had construction. We have construction today. Construction has come a long way. And when something has been there that long, right? You start questioning how much more innovation can I do in this? I think we are finally testing those limits.
Definitely.
At least in India market, we definitely are.
But we should be spearheading the colonization of Mars, boys.
I told you.
Out of the
not
world.
talks. I'm telling you, these are not talks.
Construction still has a lot of way to go.
Yes, but
right?
still not talks.
Nerd talks. That's who we are.
Yes.
Sir, if you can.
I think, Jana, please call me Ananth.
Ananth!
I don't feel I'm actually part of the team, actually.
It's Ananth.
I was enjoying what Aishwarya was saying. Actually, her social life is mostly doing the work. I have always said throughout my career that any productive company is a company that respects their employee, where there's dignity, and where there's passion. And all these three matters a lot. And as far as modulus housing is concerned, from the concept of this revolutionary idea of bringing a housing solution for medical healthcare, education, agriculture in 2 days, I was like, wow, with quality. We are not talking about plastics here. We're talking about a high quality, being IIT founded and with the kind of
kudos to the entire
nerds.
team.
Nerds.
Kudos to the entire team here.
Yeah. Yes, I would give a great kudos to the top management, to the entire team. You have achieved something that has attracted me to be part of this success story, and I know it's going to be a success story for all the emerging markets, for all the developed markets.
Awesome.
I look forward.
Amazing. Okay, guys, I think it's a good place to stop. And thanks to Aishwarya and to Ananth for being here. And electricity went off. God is giving me a signal. So catch you guys on the next podcast of People with Modulus. So hopefully we get more and more videos out here where we talk about what we are trying to do here. So stay tuned, subscribe. Bye. Happy Independence Day.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Happy